This is Steve Onsman from Calvary United Church of Christ in Reading, Pennsylvania. This is the Wednesday Word for the 11th of November. It is Veterans Day, and so I have a question. It's actually from back in the 90s from a church member uh, of this place I was serving. So it's a tough one. Um, his question, actually it was 1988, sorry. I killed a lot of Germans in World War II. Will I go to hell for murder? So I got a call from a member who was a shut-in, and he never had much to do with church, even when he wasn't a shut-in. But he said he needed to talk, and so he gave a call. I went to his house to visit. He was in a wheelchair, on oxygen. He was again a World War II veteran, and he was smoking. So that started things off badly because I'm allergic to smoke, and I also have asthma, so I really can't be around, enclosed areas. So I asked him if he could please not do that while I was there, and he basically acted like he didn't hear me. So I went over to opened up a window, sat by the window, and we had a discussion. It was bad, but it wasn't as bad as otherwise. It was the middle of winter, so I kept my coat on. It was a little chilly. These are the things they don't teach you in seminary, right? We all have experienced them. So his story was he had been a gunner in World War II, and the airplane that he was in, I'm a little fuzzy on the facts about the airplane, but he basically was underneath the plane in a kind of a bubble with a machine gun, and he could see everybody from where he was. And he said that he killed so many people. His job was to strafe with the machine gun, and he killed so many people that he lost track. So his question was this: I killed all these German soldiers. The Bible says, "Thou shalt not kill." Will I go to hell because I did this? I was a little shocked. I was still fairly new in ministry. I think maybe I'd been serving churches for 4 years. I didn't know what to expect, so I asked him to tell me about his experience. Why did you enlist? What did you do when you got home? He was part of the silent generation. The World War II veterans didn't talk a lot about their experience. Um, like Vietnam veterans, for example, and Gulf War veterans have in the last 40 years. Um, he made America into a world power. He was part of that movement. They fought Nazis. Now we have people who embrace Nazis, but I was always taught that Nazis were bad. I told him that I had never served. I'd gone right from high school to college to seminary to church, and I'd never served. But I knew a lot of people who had. And I said, what he did was fight to save the world from fascism, something I doubt God would ever hold against him. I did tell him, and this was half joking but half serious, that if he killed me because he was smoking while he was on oxygen, I expected that God might punish him fairly severely for that. He laughed and he put the cigarette out finally. I think he knew that I was only half joking because he took it for real. So I said to him, technically, it's actually thou shalt not murder. The sixth commandment, we usually hear kill used, but it really is murder. And there is a difference. The Hebrew, lotursa, I hope I pronounced that correctly, is murder. But the Greek, phoneuo, is to kill. And the Greek is the one that we tend to have translated into our Bibles. But the Hebrew came first, so I'm going to go with that. Because throughout the Old Testament, there are differentiations between kind of killing. So to murder is premeditated, it's purposeful. But when you fight for your country, or you fight to save people from the gas chambers, or you fight to save the world for democracy, that's self-defense, and that's a whole different ball of wax, right? So killing in war is self-defense, and if there was no attack or aggression, of course, there would be no need to fight back. It may be a fine point for some people, but there it is. I know that there are people of faith who believe that any act of violence, any act of killing, is wrong, and they're welcome to their opinion, and they have some biblical basis for it. But there's also basis for the other side. But as I have asked many of them, and maybe you're listening to this and you want to argue with me about this, I'll ask you now, if you walked into your home and you saw someone trying to do something horrible to someone in your home, murder, rape, whatever it is, some terrible thing they're doing, and the only way you could get them to stop would be to hit them with something that might kill them, would you do it? I would. And I challenge anyone to say that they wouldn't save a life. In fact, that's embedded into Judaism, that you follow the laws unless you have to save a life. And I've never had anybody able to answer me, I think, to that. If you have an answer, let me know. It is personally hard for me to imagine what it would be like to be in a situation in which you had to kill someone, whether it is in war, self-defense, you're walking down the street, somebody's attacking, you're a police officer. It must be an unbelievable burden to carry, no matter whether it was a righteous shoot or a legal thing, saving a life, being at war, it doesn't matter. Taking a life is a really, it could be a spirit-crushing thing to happen. Even if you're a duty-bound soldier or police officer, they don't walk into these things thinking, I mean, there may be a few, but not many, that they're looking forward to killing someone. And by the way, if you're thinking that being a soldier is not compatible with being a follower of Jesus, just remember that Jesus had a very positive interaction with the Roman centurion, a leader of soldiers. And he saw him as more faithful than most of the people he came in contact with. And he never once called him a murderer because he was a soldier or an officer for the oppressors. I think that should mean something. So I told him no. That what he went through was horrible, and no person, I think, can judge him for what he did. He saved lives, and that's important. Well, that's all I have for this time. If you have a question about theological biblical issues, send it to me, please, by email, post it on Facebook. Let me know. I'm running out of questions. Imagine that. We've been doing this for so long. I'm not going to be around. I'm not doing one next Wednesday, but I will be back in 2 weeks. Share this with people. Have a great day. Be safe. Wear masks. Things are getting rough out there. Wash your hands, and I'll see you soon. Have a wonderful day.